Hello and welcome to my podcast on an analysis of newer audiences in a newer sport media ecology. Traditionally, the term audience refers to a collection of receivers who are attentive yet passive in regards to their listening and spectating of sport in a public setting, McQuail and Hughes 2020. However, the current digital sport media ecology has meant that audiences now receive messages and content in a number of different ways while simultaneously engaging and consuming sport, as well as the lines between the sender and receiver becoming blurred, McQuail and Hughes 2020. Sports audiences are defined by factors such as place, people, media channels, content, socioeconomic, and time. McQuail and Hughes 2020 also suggests that audiences are generated in both society, with people encouraging and stimulating certain types of content, and in media, with people being attracted to certain content that they prefer. New mass media has meant that sports audiences are now much more diverse as a result of there being a lot less public assembly where fans and supporters come together. This has stemmed from the increased surveillance and social control of audiences and their behaviours. Additionally, mass media and its global and widespread reach has meant that audiences are no longer personal and small scale. Instead, sports audiences are now very impersonal and on a global scale, with audience members able to communicate with one another from all over the world through various forms of media. Rowan Hutchins, 2014. The digitalisation of sport and the important role that digital media plays in the new sport media ecology has further enhanced the concept that audiences are created, established and identified based on their platform of choice, for example, television audiences. Furthermore, this has brought about the immersion of new multi-channel transmedia audiences who receive and consume their sporting content through a multitude of different platforms, such as television, social media, online streaming sites, and many more, McQuail and Hughes 2020. These multi-channel audiences were created as a result of more and more media platforms arising, thus giving the public a range of choices in terms of where they wish to obtain their sporting content from, with the multi-channel audience preferring to utilise a variety of different mediums. Multi-channel audiences are much more prevalent within the new sport media ecology, as the Generation Z population are very apt and comfortable at using technology, with it being their preference in regards to consumption and communication. Therefore, this segment of the population are making use of the multiple channels available to them for enjoying their sporting content. Multi-channel audiences also tend to have lots of different sub-audience segments across the several platforms that they use. For example, a TV subdivision audience and a social media subdivision audience. The multi-channel audience, along with its sub-audience segments, have propensity to be less personal than traditional audiences due to dividing their time between all of the different channels and platforms that they use, such as they can't allocate as much time to Facebook, Instagram, TV, radio, etc., meaning they don't form as deep and personal relationships with one another. Another new audience that has recently emerged within the new sport media ecology is the esports audience. Due to the continuous developments in digital media, esports evolution and popularity has grown significantly, thus helping it to establish a large audience who actively engage with the content. This new esports audience differs from traditional sports audiences as they create their own content. The esports audience creates their own content by playing the virtual gaming content and capturing their gameplay and footage and sharing it online, usually through platforms such as YouTube for the public and other fellow esports players to watch and consume. In addition to this, there are several professional esports leagues and competitions that have been created for people from the audience to participate in, with this resulting in the further creation of esports teams, with being an esports player now a viable full-time profession. These actions and content creation by the esports audience has given increased exposure to esport, thus resulting in the audience growing in size and popularity on a constant basis. The emergence of the esports audience has also had a profound effect on general sports audiences, as sports video games have given sports an increased exposure in countries that they are relatively unheard of and don't have a large audience, such as the video game FIFA promoting football within the USA and the video game NBA 2K promoting basketball in countries such as the UK, where basketball isn't that popular. This has meant that audiences have been able to learn about new sports via esports games, which has led to players becoming fans of these sports and joining the sporting audience. COVID-19 has also accelerated the growth of the esports audience, as during the pandemic, the amount of people playing video games drastically increased due to all live sporting events being cancelled or postponed, thus causing people to turn to esports to get their sporting content fix, ultimately causing the esports audience to expand. Finally, Gabriel and Lang 2015 suggests that the arrival and introduction of social media within sport has meant that audiences don't always consume sporting content because they prefer it and want to, but instead because of the meanings and connotations associated with the sporting content. Moreover, the influence of social media has meant that for audiences, consumption has become more about imitating, with a greater importance and focus being placed on keeping up with others and staying up to date with the latest trends. This could be in the form of watching certain sports or teams because they are deemed as acceptable and on trend, Gabriel and Lang 2015. Audiences believe that failure to do this will result in social decline. This has resulted in the inception of social media influencers. These are people who have a large social media following and are often in the public eye. Social media influencers strive to set trends which the audience will follow and imitate. For example, if an influencer posts that they are watching American football and support a certain team, given, for say, the New England Patriots, the audience will start to watch and support the same team because they think it's trendy and want to emulate their influencer's behaviour. Linked to this, sports brands such as Nike, who have huge online and social media followings and presence, will advertise their products on social media through their own personal accounts and by paying influencers to promote the brand. This will then cause the audience to want to buy products to remain socially acceptable, as they have seen their favourite brands and influencers posting about it. The audience will then purchase these products and then post on their social media in the Nike products, for example, to try and prove that they are on trend. This will in turn create more value and content for the brand. Gabriel and Lang 2015. Rowan Hutchins 2014 claimed that the rise of new digital media has thrown the concept of audiences into question, with modes of consumption becoming proliferated and institutional media being outdated. With new audiences appearing all the time, I'm really interested to hear your thoughts on what you think the future holds for sports audiences. So please feel free to comment what you think the future is for sports audiences. I hope you enjoyed this podcast, and don't forget to like and follow for more.